Hi, this is Rahil, the host of Daybreak. Before we start today's episode, I have a slightly strange question to ask you. When was the last time you watched a movie or read a book and the opening lines really stuck with you? It could have been really funny or really powerful. This is actually for a new segment called Daybreak Unwind. You may have heard it. Every Thursday, my co host Snigdha Sharma and I come together to share our recommendations. They could be books, movies, music, even fun activities for you to check out over the weekend. And it isn't just us. We also have listeners like you sending their recommendations. So this week, if you have a killer opening line you would like to share, text us on WhatsApp. Our number is 89711 I'll also put it in the show notes of this episode. And now, on to the episode. When it comes to adopting electric vehicles, China seems to have it all figured out. Just look at the stats. Half of all the electric cars in the world are currently in China. Now, is this because people in China just care about the environment more? Well, not exactly. We all know that China is the world's biggest carbon emitter, so the Chinese government over the years has been going all out trying to reverse that image. And a big part of that project has been EV adoption. But the question then is, how do you get millions of people to buy an EV over your conventional ICE vehicle? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. Subsidies. Give them a better deal. So China went ahead and introduced a wave of incentives, not just for consumers, but also for manufacturers. In the end, not only were more people buying EVs, more people were also making them. And that's how we got here. China is now home to half of the world's EVs. There is a flip side to all of that. And that is that this has become an extremely competitive market in China, with hundreds of companies fighting for skin in the game, and most of them failing. And that's just the manufacturers. People purchasing EVs are facing a whole other predicament. They are now facing unexpected costs and challenges that no one really saw coming. The main one? Insurance. You see, premiums for insurance coverage for EVs carry, well, a premium. It can go up to 80% higher than a vehicle with an internal combustion engine, your regular ICE vehicle. So while that cost is initially offset by subsidies, the higher insurance payments often come as a huge surprise later on. As you would imagine, they can really add up. They're a long-term expense that most people don't factor in while making that leap from fossil fuels to power cells. Now, the reason these premiums are higher is because insurers are grappling with a rising number of claims and financial losses in this vertical. EV technology is associated with a whole other set of unique risks and complexities. And this isn't just a problem in China. It affects EV owners everywhere. You see, globally, it costs about 20% more to insure an EV than a vehicle that burns petrol or diesel. And this is largely because of EVs' high accident rates and difficulty to repair. In fact, the risks are so high that insurers are also starting to turn away EV owners. The result of all of this is people hitting reverse gear on their plans to switch to an EV. It's as counterproductive as it gets. How did China get to this point? And can they get past this little speed bump? Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host, Rahil Philippos, and I'll be joining my colleague Snigdha Sharma every week to bring you one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Tuesday, the 24th of September. A big reason behind the high EV adoption rates in China is commercial fleets opting to switch to battery-powered vehicles. It isn't just consumers like you or me suddenly deciding that our cars need to be battery-powered. One stat states that in China, 87% of new ride-hailing cars were EVs as of 2023. Now, because commercial vehicles cover much longer distances and are used so frequently, they're also more prone to accidents. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. Because of these factors, insurers have a lot to lose. Repairing a collision damaged EV tends to be much more difficult than repairing an ICE vehicle. The spare parts aren't as easily available, and it also doesn't help that maintenance procedures for EVs aren't standardized. That's primarily why EVs are more expensive to insure. Significantly more expensive than insuring an ICE vehicle. But of course, more and more people are still buying EVs. So now the industry is facing immense pressure to temper the rising cost of EV insurance. The thing is, they are figuring it out as they go along. Because this type of insurance coverage, specialized commercial coverage, did not even exist until about 2021. These policies now offer specific protections for components like batteries, electric motors, chargers, and control systems. And this is a growing pillar for insurance companies in China. EV insurance is now valued at around $14 billion and is expected to almost double by 2025. But despite these promising numbers, insurers are still losing money. And that's because income from premiums just isn't enough to cover payouts. So it makes it difficult for insurers to turn a profit. Now, many EV owners say that they've been denied coverage when renewing their policies. Others had to purchase additional products or pay higher premiums to keep their coverage. And very often, insurers don't have a clear explanation to offer. In some cases, vehicles with high mileage or those that have been the subject of multiple claims are outright rejected because insurance providers deem them too risky. But shakeups are coming. For instance, the National Financial Regulatory Administration proposed changes to EV insurance rules in April. One statute called for an adjustment that would give insurers more flexibility in setting premiums, allowing them to lower prices for safe drivers and charging more for those with riskier behavior. To keep pace with the evolving market, Chinese insurers are now rethinking their business models. More on that in the next segment. There are a bunch of automakers in China that have spotted a huge opportunity here. They're going down the Tesla route and launching their own insurance products. These companies like BYD and NIO are using data gathered from vehicles under the control of consumers to develop something called usage-based insurance or UBI, which analyzes individual drivers' behavior to adjust pricing. They are trying to undercut insurers. Meanwhile, major insurers are hopping on the bandwagon of using driver and vehicle data as they attempt to figure out how to make EV coverage profitable while bringing down costs for consumers. Take, for instance, the case of private insurance companies, People's Insurance, Ping An, and China Pacific. I may be mispronouncing that. I apologize. They have collaborated with an affiliate company of the Chinese conglomerate Alibaba Group and group subsidiary Ant Insurance Agency. Through this partnership, they're able to ensure data sharing between insurers, automakers, retailers, and national big data monitoring platforms. Based on this, they're able to create personalized policies based on a driver's profile, behaviors, and vehicle. And it seems to be working. One such model was launched in May 2024. The head of Ant Insurance's EV insurance division said that adding data trackers offered differentiation, meaning lower premiums for 38% of customers, while 15% are classified as high-risk users and therefore make higher payments. So this is just one of the ways in which insurance policies can be designed as the EV landscape continues to evolve. But of course, needless to say, there is a long way to go. As China pushes EV adoption into high gear, the challenges in the insurance sector are becoming increasingly urgent. Dynamic pricing models, data-driven insurance products, and collaborations between automakers and insurers that are being developed and piloted in the country will likely chart the course for global insurance practices in the EV space.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. Head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the website. Today's episode was hosted by Rahil Philippos, produced by me, Snigdha Sharma, and edited by Rajiv CN.